Deep conversations have a way of connecting us on a level that feels almost lost in today's world. You find yourself at a gathering, surrounded by the hum of voices, yet you are utterly alone. The talk is of weather, of sports, of trivialities that bounce off the surface of your mind. You feel a quiet desperation, a hunger for something real, something that touches the core of who you are. But the moment you try to steer the dialogue into deeper waters, you hit an invisible wall. The connection falters. The eyes across from you glaze over, and you are left with the chilling thought, is true dialogue dead? What if the problem isn't a lack of willing partners, but a flaw in your very method? We assume that to connect, we must reveal ourselves, share our stories, and offer our opinions. But this is the paradox. The most powerful way to unlock another person's depth is not by speaking, but by mastering the art of the question. Not the trivial, "What do you do?" but the kind of question that slices through the noise of a conditioned life. The kind that, as Friedrich Nietzsche hinted, can unearth the chaotic, beautiful truths we bury to survive the mundane. What is it about a truly profound question that feels so dangerous, so electrifying? It's because a real question does not seek an answer. It seeks a crack in the facade. It wants to see the shadow you've hidden, the unspoken dream you've abandoned, the secret philosophy you live by but never voice. Your current questions are keys that fit every lock, opening nothing of value. So what is the anatomy of a question that can truly unravel a soul? And why does our society train us to avoid asking them at all costs? This silent failure of dialogue is not a personal shortcoming, but a symptom of a deeper psychological siege. We are conditioned for transactional exchange, not transformative inquiry. The 20th century philosopher Martin Heidegger warned of das Gerede, the idle talk, a chattering public consciousness that absorbs all genuine thought into safe, pre-packaged cliches. Our questions become feeble because we are terrified of the answers. To ask, "What do you truly desire?" is to risk confronting the abyss of your own desires, or worse, the terrifying possibility of their absence. Carl Jung saw this fear as the root of the persona, the mask we present to the world. We ask superficial questions to maintain each other's masks, a silent, cowardly agreement to never disturb the performance. But beneath this social contract lies a more insidious force, what Friedrich Nietzsche identified as the herd instinct. The will to belong, to not stand out, is stronger than the will to truth. A profound question is an act of rebellion. It challenges the comfortable numbness of the collective and demands an individual, authentic response. It forces both the asker and the answerer out of the herd and into the wilderness of their own consciousness. This is the hidden problem. Our conversations are not failures of skill, but failures of courage. We prioritize social harmony over existential honesty. But what is the true cost of this cowardice? What unseen realities have we collectively built by refusing to interrogate the world and each other with any real depth? The consequence is a world of echoes, where we are surrounded by people yet starved for a single, genuine voice. The consequence of this cowardice is a world built on a foundation of silence. Not an empty silence, but a deafening one, filled with the noise of unasked questions. You feel it in the quiet despair of a life measured by metrics, in the hollow victories that leave you restless at 3 a.m. This is the great alienation. We become strangers to others because we are first and foremost strangers to ourselves. Our cognitive biases, like the confirmation bias, act as prison guards, ensuring we only seek and hear what already aligns with our constructed identity. We are culturally conditioned to consume answers, not to cultivate questions. This silent architecture shapes everything. Your relationships remain superficial, not for a lack of time, but because the questions required to deepen them feel too dangerous. Your career path follows a pre-written script because you never asked the one terrifying question: is this my life, or merely a life I have inherited? Society itself thrives on this passive acceptance. As the thinker Aldous Huxley foresaw in his dystopia, the most effective cage is not one of punishment, but of distraction and triviality, a world saturated with information that starves us of wisdom. We click, we scroll, we consume, never pausing to interrogate the meaning of it all. We are living in the aftermath of a question we never asked. The weight of this unlived life is the ghost that haunts your quiet moments. But this realization, as unsettling as it is, contains the seed of your liberation. For if the problem is a failure of courage, then the solution must be a deliberate, radical act of it. What would it look like to not just ask a better question, but to become a person for whom profound inquiry is a way of being? The rebellion begins not with a shout, but with a single seismic query. The rebellion begins with a single deliberate act. You must weaponize your curiosity. This is not about memorizing a list of clever questions. It is about a fundamental shift in your posture toward the world. You must become an archaeologist of the human soul, digging past the superficial layers of opinion to uncover the bedrock of personal experience and unspoken truth. This is the counterintuitive core. True connection is forged not by revealing yourself, but by creating a sacred, silent space for another to reveal themselves to you. Your silence after a powerful question is not awkwardness. It is the crucible where genuine thought is formed. Embrace the Socratic Method, not as a tool for debate, but as a scalpel for dissection. Instead of asking, "Are you happy?" a question that invites a scripted lie, ask, "What moment this week made you feel most alive?" This question bypasses the cognitive guard and targets the emotional core. This is what Viktor Frankl implied when he spoke of the will to meaning. Your questions can help others discover their own meaning. You are not a talker. You are a midwife, assisting in the birth of another's self-awareness. Every great thinker, from Nietzsche to Sartre, did not give answers. They posed problems so profound they forced a re-evaluation of existence itself. This practice demands courage. You will unsettle people. You will disrupt the comfortable rhythm of small talk. But in that disruption lies the only path to authentic power. You are no longer a passive participant in a scripted play. You are a rogue element, injecting reality into a simulated world. You reclaim control by steering every interaction toward what is real, raw, and human. But this leads to one final terrifying realization. The most profound question, the one that underpins this entire rebellion, is not one you ask of others. It is the one you have been avoiding asking of yourself. The ultimate truth is this: the most profound conversation you will ever have is the one you initiate with the stranger you call yourself. Every question you master, every silence you hold for another, is merely a rehearsal for this final interrogation. You have been learning to ask not to unlock others, but to finally turn that key upon your own life. This is the paradigm shift that makes all past struggles clear. You sought meaningful dialogue to feel less alone, but the universe was guiding you toward the one dialogue that defines your entire existence, the one that happens in the silent theater of your own mind. What is the question you are afraid to ask yourself? Not about your career or relationships, but about the very foundation of your being. What is the lie you agreed to live? What God do you serve without knowing its name? This is the essence of Nietzsche's challenge. To become who you are, you must first shatter who you are not. The art of the question is the hammer. Your life is the answer, not in words, but in action, in choice, in the unflinching gaze you cast upon your own desires and fears. The conversations you have with the world are simply echoes of this primary, foundational dialogue. So let your final realization be this: you are not a participant in reality, but its interrogator. The quality of your life will be determined by the quality of the questions you dare to ask of it. Do not seek answers. Seek a more beautiful, more terrifying question. Let it haunt your steps, let it define your days, and let the relentless pursuit of it become your legacy. For in the end, We are not defined by the answers we hold, but by the questions that hold us. If you've had a similar experience with a deep conversation, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you're looking to improve your communication skills, be sure to check out my next video where I share tips on how to have more meaningful conversations.